They look nothing like me. Whose kids are these? Just a few hours after giving birth, exhausted, I faced those cold words from my husband. Of course, the children I gave birth to were undoubtedly ours. Yet, my husband stubbornly refused to acknowledge them as his own. Days later, he presented DNA test results in front of his parents. Look, see, these kids aren't mine! Provoked by my husband's yelling, I glanced over the results. The document stated, "My name is Mary, age 28. I live with my husband William. Our life might seem smooth to outsiders, without any drama, and in good terms with my in-laws. But I had one major concern. William. He's my age, a colleague who joined the company at the same time as I did. Though in different departments, we interacted often and grew close through social events. William was efficient and well-liked by everyone, regardless of gender. When he proposed marriage, he asked me, 'Mary, would you mind being a housewife?' A housewife? Me? I'm terrible at household chores, and I'll work hard, so I'd like you to take care of the home." Are you sure? Won't that be a lot for you? Not at all. I'd be grateful just for the help around the house. What do you think? William explained his mother was a housewife, and he wanted someone to focus on childcare. Though it might seem old-fashioned, he was simply asking because of his aversion to housework. Confused by this proposition, but without a strong attachment to my job, I accepted. Thus, I became a housewife. Initially unaccustomed to staying home all day, I eventually found my rhythm and began enjoying it. I discovered I was pregnant with twins a year into our marriage. William and his parents were overjoyed, especially William. "I'll work even harder," he said, with renewed determination. He was looking forward to our children's birth. However, around the 4th month of my pregnancy, William's behavior began to change. It all started with something trivial. Normally, William would finish work on time and come straight home, but one night he didn't return even after 10 p.m. There was no response to my calls and no replies to my messages. If he didn't return by the next day, I thought of consulting his parents. Just then, past 11 p.m., William finally came home. "I'm back!" His face, flushed and obviously drunk, relieved my worry, but anger quickly followed. "It's not I'm back! What time do you think it is?" "Huh? Mary, why are you mad?" "If you're going to be late, at least let me know. Do you know how worried I was?" Sorry. It was a sudden drinking session." "Even so, you could have messaged me." To my anger, William sighed. And with a look of annoyance said, "I'm tired from work every day. Isn't it okay to go out for drinks to relieve stress?" "I'm not saying you can't drink. I just want you to let me know." Yeah. Mary has it good, huh?" "What?" "You're just a housewife and pregnant, lazing around at home every day, right?" "What? I'm not lazing around." "Just remember, it's because I work that we can live like this, okay?" Glaring at me, William staggered out of the living room. Left alone, I was overwhelmed with indescribable anger. This was the first time I'd been so upset with William since we met. Why did he have to speak to me like that? Why do I have to be yelled at just for wanting a message? It's natural to worry when there's no contact. From that day on, William's behavior worsened. He began to make more derogatory comments about me being a housewife. Our relationship, once harmonious, changed dramatically. Nearing full-term pregnancy, William's attitude remained unchanged. He stopped coming home early for dinner and went out on weekends without a word. Despite the imminent birth of our children, he showed no understanding. As I started to experience the early signs of labor, the reality of childbirth set in. I realized I couldn't handle it alone if something happened. Deciding to talk to William, I fought off sleep, waiting for him to come home. That night, he returned late again, and I immediately brought up the topic. William, I'm sorry to ask, but could you come home earlier until I've given birth? What? Why? Why? Because I don't know when labor might start, and I want you nearby in case something happens. Why bother me with that? Just call a taxi or an ambulance. Anyway, I'm at work during the day. That's true, but we're a couple, you know? You should at least try to help. I couldn't help but raise my voice in frustration. William looked at me coldly and said, Mary, you're making too much of childbirth. What? Just childbirth? Don't rely on me for everything. Think and act on your own. His harsh words left me feeling empty. I guess he doesn't love me anymore. That thought was inescapable. Realizing further discussion was futile, I gave up on relying on William. I remembered about the labor taxi service, which, once registered, could be used without guidance before and after childbirth. I registered for the labor taxi, deciding to go to the hospital alone if needed. Having lost my parents years ago, I had no one else to rely on but William. William was supposed to be my only family. Tears welled up as I thought about it, but I couldn't afford to dwell on that now. For my unborn children, I had to be strong. Despite feeling demoralized, I pushed myself through the rest of my pregnancy. A week later, I was watching TV alone at night when I felt an unfamiliar pain in my lower abdomen. Wait, could this be labor pains? My suspicions were correct, and the pain intensified. William hadn't come home yet. I had no choice but to call the hospital myself. Come in when the intervals of pain are less than 10 minutes. I endured the pain alone until then. Hours later, I called the labor taxi and went to the hospital alone. I tried contacting William, but as expected, there was no response, and anger overtook my sadness. William didn't contact me until after I had given birth. His message the next day read, I'm heading to the hospital now. Such a curt message had arrived. An hour later, William appeared in my hospital room. Seeing him brought back all my resentment, and I couldn't contain my anger, even with our children beside me. About to speak my mind. Listen! It was just as I was about to speak. That's when William, looking down at the newborn twins, made an unbelievable remark. They look nothing like me. Whose kids are these? What? What are you saying? I replied in disbelief. They're obviously ours, William. No, they're not. Wow, really? An affair? Unbelievable. Stop joking. I would never do such a thing. Whatever. It's clear they're not mine. William left these words behind and walked out of the hospital room. It all happened so suddenly, I couldn't comprehend it. His cruel words, whose kids, echoed endlessly in my mind. A week after giving birth, the twins and I were discharged from the hospital, but William's behavior remained unchanged, not returning home early or participating in childcare. During this time, my friend Susan, from work, visited with a baby gift. William was out, as usual, so it was just me. After confirming William wasn't home, Susan brought up a topic. Mary, I hate to say this right after your childbirth, but there's a rumor about William at work. A rumor? About what? You remember Emily, who joined the company with us? There's a rumor that he's dating her. What? Emily, a colleague who joined at the same time as us, was acquainted with William. They often had gatherings with colleagues from our joining year, so it wouldn't be strange if William had her contact. But, congratulations! Emily had sent me a message for my childbirth. The idea of her being involved with William was hard to believe, but William's behavior had changed since my pregnancy. Unable to shake off my unease, I checked his mobile phone while he slept. Just as Susan said, there was a plethora of messages between William and Emily suggesting an affair. I can't wait to marry you. I want children with you too. Don't worry, our plan will definitely lead to a divorce. Reading these messages, the last shred of love I had for William vanished. I couldn't believe it. He was so harsh with me, yet he was having an affair. How much more selfish can he be? I won't forgive him. I'll definitely get my revenge. With that, I decided to take revenge on William and Emily. Angry, I went through the messages again. Emily's reference to our plan in the recent messages caught my attention. I could confront William now, but first I needed to secure evidence. I transferred their conversations and pictures of their dates from his folder to my mobile phone. Now, all that was left was to wake William and confront him. But, just as I was about to do so, something happened. I had to give up for the day and postponed confronting William until the next day. I planned to question him after my in-laws, who were scheduled to visit, left. The next day, strangely, William left the house early in the morning, even though my in-laws were visiting. I tried calling him, but there was no response. As I was dealing with these thoughts, my in-laws arrived. "Where's William?" I reluctantly began explaining to Jennifer, my mother-in-law. "I'm sorry, he just went out a little while ago." "It's not your fault, Mary." "Really, William? I even sent him a message saying we were coming." "Don't worry, I'm sure he'll be back soon. Please, make yourselves comfortable." Throughout their visit, my in-laws kept smiling at the children. "They are so adorable," they said. William had never said such words, which almost brought me to tears. The peaceful moment was short-lived. The door slammed open, and William stormed into the living room. He confronted me with a piece of paper. "Wait, what? What's this all of a sudden?" Confused by his abrupt behavior, William blurted out an outrageous claim. "Look at this! These kids aren't mine!" "William, what are you talking about?" "I did a DNA test. This proves your affair, Mary, and now we're getting a divorce." "What?" The document William thrust at me was the result of a DNA test. While I skimmed through it, William pointed at a section and continued. "Look, it says right here, not excluded as the father. That's solid proof I'm not the dad." His misunderstanding left my in-laws completely stunned. As they stood there in shock, William sneered triumphantly, but I calmly retorted, "Not excluded as the father means no one but William could be the dad." "What? Got so caught up in another woman that you can't even read properly, huh?" "What? What are you talking about? I don't have any other woman." "Enough! Your parents are here, so why not just come clean? You're having an affair with a woman from our workplace." "What?" My revelation left my in-laws pale. "What does this mean? Explain yourself!" Daniel, my father-in-law, demanded an explanation. "I don't know what she's talking about." William tried to play ignorant. Frustrated with William, he angrily turned back on me. "Mary, stop lying already!" "Lying? I'm only stating facts." "Don't mess with me! This document is all I need for a divorce. I know it's right." That's when I finally understood. The plan Emily mentioned in their messages was this. Regardless of the content, William thought showing me the DNA test and making up a story would make me agree to a divorce. But I'm not that weak. In fact, I should thank William for setting the perfect stage for my revenge. As I thought about this, I began to feel more composed. You want to divorce me with this document and then remarry Emily? You think such a sloppy plan will work? How? How do you know about the plan? So it was true then. What do you mean by it was true? I took out my mobile phone and showed William the evidence I had saved. His face turned pale, trembling with the fear of his affair being exposed. In stark contrast, my in-laws were shaking with anger. Suddenly, Daniel grabbed William by the collar and shouted, "What the hell is wrong with you? Doing this to Mary when she's going through childbirth? Wait, Dad. There's a reason for this. Your excuses aren't worth listening to. These photos are undeniable proof. Cheating and then confronting Mary with a divorce paper? Such a foolish son. I'm sorry. Sorry to the wrong person. Apologize to Mary." It was rare to see the usually quiet Daniel this angry. With tears in his eyes, William turned to me and deeply apologized. "I'm sorry. I was wrong. Please forgive me." But seeing William like this didn't shake my resolve. I unleashed my pent-up anger on him. "It's too late for apologies. Do you have any idea how I felt during the pregnancy and after childbirth? Because of you, I was pushed to my limits, both physically and emotionally." "I get it. We don't have to divorce. I'll break up with Emily." "What? Of course we're getting a divorce. Staying married to someone like you, William, is absolutely impossible. You don't have to break up with Emily. Just pay the compensation for the divorce trial. And after that, do whatever you want. But never show your face to me and our children again. Now get lost, you worthless man." Daniel then dragged William out to the entrance. "Wait! Forgive me! I was wrong! Just please spare me the divorce compensation." I ignored his pleas from outside. This marked the end of my family relationship with William. Afterward, I hired a lawyer and successfully divorced William. Of course, both he and Emily paid the compensation. William was cut off by his parents and banned from entering their house. The affair was exposed at work, and feeling uncomfortable, both William and Emily resigned. They ultimately split over disagreements about the divorce compensation. Now, William is job hunting while focusing on day labor. As for me, I'm staying with my in-laws and the kids. Out of guilt or concern for me with nowhere else to turn, "You can stay here until you're settled," my in-laws told me. "Mary, let us know if there's anything we can help with. It's hard enough raising twins, let alone doing it alone. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for everything." "What are you talking about? It's only natural to help our daughter in trouble." "That's right, Mary. You're our dear daughter, and the twins are our adorable grandchildren. Daniel, Jennifer, thank you so much." After the divorce, I was often moved to tears by my in-laws' kindness. Even without a relationship with William, they still call me their daughter. I hope to repay my in-laws someday and continue to live my best life with my children.